Hello everyone, this is Adnan with another video on AWS Certified Solutions Architect, and in this video I'm going to show you how to work with EC2 instance with Linux operating system. Linux server is a bit different from Windows server. Once we create a Windows instance, we access the server by port 3389, and Linux server is we can access the server by port 22. Linux, we are going to so Linux server, we are going to use Ubuntu server, and within the Ubuntu server we are going to use command line. So and it's really easy to create and access a Linux server in AWS. Let's get started. So I am in the management console, logged in with a header, my user ID Adnan header, and I'm in North Virginia unit. I am going to go to EC2 instance, and there I'm going to create an EC2 instance. So in this, I'm going to go into instances and launch instance. So once I launch instance, I will be provided selection. I will be provided a list of Linux resources. So here I'm going to go with I have many here free tier available: Amazon, Linux 2, AMI, which is here I'm going to go with the first one, Linux server. And from here, this is the family of instances. As you can see, there are many different type of instances available: T1, T2, T3, T3A, and these are based on different server sizes, different server types. I'm going to go through that later on. So for now, we're going to go with T2 Micro, which is free tier eligible. So I'm going to go to next. And here I'm going to keep everything as is. I don't need to make any changes here. With the storage, we are going to go with 8 GB of the storage. If you need to add more disk, you can add more disk, or you can add more storage as well. So with the tag, we can name this server and name this server as web server Linux 01, and next. And within the security group, since it's a Linux server, it would give us automatically port 22, which is SSH port. If you want, you can add more ports here, but we don't need any. In this, I am going to change this name so that I can remember which security group is this. So I'm going to say this is Linux server 01, and I'm gonna use this name here as well, so that within the security groups, because there are many security groups, we can see that which security group, which VM, which EC2 instance it belongs to. So here I'm gonna launch this VM, and I can use my existing key right here, or you can create your own key. In the previous video, I showed you that if you want to use one key for all your resources, this is the key, or you can create your own key as well. I mean, creating your own key, the important thing is that you download and keep the key somewhere. So here I'm going to say I acknowledge that I have access to the selected private key. So since you're not downloading it, and this window will not come again, you are acknowledging that you have access to this key. So this is stored in my download folder. If not, then you should create a key at this point. So I'm going to use my previous key, but if you want to create a new key and you haven't created, you just go here, create a new key, name the key, and then download and keep it in your safe folder. So I'm going to launch this instance. So it will take few minutes while for the instance to be launched, and I am going to go now back to EC2 instances. Now within EC2 instance, now I can see that there are 3 instances available. So while this instance is being created, so here this is the instance, the Linux instance being created. I have another instance, web server 1, which was Windows instance. Uh, this instance is a Linux instance. Now, since it is a Linux instance and it is being created, we are going to use two tools in order to access this instance. So those two tools are PuTTY, which is PuTTY software to access the Linux instance, and PuTTY keygen. So I'm gonna go to PuTTY software. PuTTY is a famous software to access Linux machines through CLI. So here I'm gonna go to, so do not go to this site, Softonic. Go directly to the PuTTY site. So let me see which site is it, and here you can go with, I guess this is fine. I mean, wherever you can find PuTTY, it's fine. So once you're on this site, you need two files. So one is PuTTY, which is this one, putty.exe, and we are going to download this file, putty.exe file. This is one, and we also need a keygen file. So here I'm gonna go down and I'll find puttygen file. So this is the file that I'm gonna need, and I am going to download this. So this is basically once the so this is to decrypt the key and use the key within the session. So I've downloaded both of them, and so this is PuTTY and this is PuTTY keygen. You can save it in your downloads. So here this is in my download. I have both of them downloaded here. You can just download and save them, and all you need to do is you can just right click on each one of them and install. So here I'm gonna just open this. So it's open right here. This is PuTTY client, but before this we are going to use puttygen. Puttygen is used to decrypt the key, so and make it usable for PuTTY. So right click on this and you can install this. Once it is installed, then you can open it, and once it is open, here all you need to do is to load that key. Remember the key that we downloaded when creating the Linux VM, it's in the download folder. We can load, click on load, and once being loaded, this is the Linux key. Actually no, this is not the one, this is not the private key. The key that we downloaded that we have is this one, Pass Institute key, that I have that previously downloaded. So I'm gonna just open this key and make sure you choose the correct file. And when choosing the file, one important thing is that you always change this to all files, because you won't be able to see the key that you downloaded. So when you click all files, then you'll able to see PEM key. So once this key is open, this is the key, all you need to do is save a private key. So private key is the one with which PuTTY will be connected to. So save the key, and here I'm gonna save this as a new file. So within this, I'm gonna call this is my web server Linux 01. So web server Linux 01, I'm named it according to the server. You can name it anything, not necessarily it needs to be the same name, but here I just named it. So once this is done, key generator work is finished, and all I need to do, go to PuTTY here. Now in this I need an IP address, but before going there I need to go to SSH, I need to go to auth, and here I need to browse and attach the key. So it seems like so many steps here, but it's just very few steps. So I downloaded that key first from when creating the VM. That key I loaded in keygen and saved it as private key, which is this one, and then load this key in putty client. So converted that key with this and then loading it in this here. So connect. So you open putty configuration, go to SSH, go to auth, and here, and now I'm going to go back to session, and here I need the IP address. So I'm going to go back to EC2 instance, and in EC2 instance it seems that it is ready. I'm going to select this instance, and once I select the instance, I'll go to status check. Within status check, both are up, and here it's not showing me the status. I'm gonna refresh this, and it should show me the status check. Okay, so now once the status check is done, let's connect to the VM and connect. So since it is a Linux VM, you can connect it right from here, EC2 instance connect here, or through SSH client. So let's see if I click here. So if you click here, then you will see this, and you can directly open a session right from here. Okay, and the second way is you can use the SSH client and open the SSH client, and you need to use this name. And then you will be able to connect, or you can connect using the public DNS, which is this one. So in this case, I'm gonna go here, but the important thing here is the user that you need to log in with will be EC2-user. So let's say if I try to connect from here first, you can click on connect, and it opens its own secure shell, and it opens the session right here. And once the session is open, then you can start using commands. So here now you're logged in. Here you can use any type of command, and you're logged in with EC2-user. So you're using the browser instance. Let's say if you want to use the putty client, in the putty client you need to go to SSH, copy this public IP address, go to putty client, and here paste this. Now here, remember that you did the steps previously. So you to use the private key, here you will just say open. Once you click open, then it will connect. It is trying to connect to that public DNS, and if the key is if the key and everything is fine, then you should be able to connect. So here we are going to use EC2-user, EC2-user, and you're logged in, and the password is not required because we already attached the key. Now from here, what you can do is you can run various different commands. But basically we are connected to this instance. Now let's say if you wanna kind of update this instance, you can run different commands here. For example, if you want to install HTTP or a web service, so you can run yum and say install /y. So this will try to install basically install a web service on this EC2 instance, and here we are getting this error message saying that you need the root to perform this command. So which means that you need the admin access. Now in order to grant this user admin access, there is a command in Linux called sudo. So that is called sudo su. So this will give admin rights to this user. Which user? This user, EC2.user. You're logged in, so now you have a root access. Now if I run that command again, which is yum, and that command is install http d/y. That will install basically that will install the sorry. So here I forgot to type here d, and this will install the HTTP service on this. So if we can expand this, now HTTP service is used basically for to check to make it a web server, a Linux web server. Now in order to see if the service is running, we can type another command called service. Okay, sorry. So service httpd, and I think that is status. So it's saying that it is disabled. The service status is not working. In order to start the service, we can just say start service httpd is started, and I can run that command again. I'm using just the up arrow key and check the status. This time we can see that starting the Apache HTTP server and started. So HTTP server is started. Now if we want to see that if on this server website is running, we can keep this here, and we can take the DNS name and we can open it in a browser and try to connect to this website. So now the website is being opened from the instance since it is a web server. And so that is also, the website can only open if the port 80 is open on the website on this server. And if I remember, I didn't open that port 80 port on this. So I'm going to go back here and go back to the instance. We are going back to the security group and grant access to port 80. So this is the security, and within security we can see only port 80 is available. So we need to add port 22 is available. To be connected with port 8 to 22, we are able to use the PuTTY session. PuTTY or PuTTY, sometimes it is both, it can be pronounced in both ways. And I'm gonna go to security group, and within the security group I'm gonna add port 80. So here I'm gonna add edit inbound ports, and I'm gonna add the rule, and this time I'm gonna say that add port HTTP port, which is port 80, and that's it. Save the rule. And so this is security ID or prefix. So security ID and prefix, I'm gonna say any. So this will be save the rule. It is creating this. So 000 mean from anywhere whoever is accessing port 80 should be open. So now we have two ports open, and in here we'll try to access this, and the test page is open. So this is the Apache web server that is being accessed from the EC2 instance. In order to recheck this, we can go back here and stop the Apache server. So I'm gonna say stop. Once you say stop and you try to access this website, so this time, since the website is not working, it's not accessible, and you can go back and start the website and see again, try to connect that to that website. It should be working fine. So in this video we have basically we created an EC2 instance, Linux based EC2 instance. Also we also wanted to make a note here that with EC2 instance we need to open port 80. So here the important thing is port 80 is to access the EC2 instance, and we also open port 22 to access the instance, and port 80 to access the web server. Okay, so this is one thing. And second thing we did was to make sure you have the right key available. So you need to download the EC2 instance key, EC2 instance key while creating it. Once you download the key, then that key you need to bring it to putty or puttygen. Within puttygen, you load the key and then you convert that to private key. Once you convert that to private key, then you need to load that key. You need to load that key to putty client. Once you load that key, where you need to go to SSH, and you can go through the video, SSH and auth. Once you load the key, then you'll be able to connect to the client. Okay, so in this video, you can go slow, you can go back and forth and complete the video. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any question, post your questions in the comment section and I'll try to reply back as soon as possible.